Hello and welcome to Roleplay Rejects, where we play new and unusual tabletop role-playing games. This season we are playing City of Mist, a noir-style game where myths and legends inhabit human hosts, for better or for worse.
Some of it's cool. Like, some of it's like, hey, suddenly you can fly for free and you get to fly as a bonus action.
And that's fucking awesome. Or like you accidentally cast Fireball on yourself.
Yeah, center it on yourself. That's one of my favorite ones.
Those are great,
but some of them are stupid.
Or like, you know, your character is like now 5 years younger or something, or 5 years older.
All of these chairs are so creaky.
No one cares.
Yeah, suddenly you're bald.
You know what my favorite magic system is, though? Did any of y'all read the Eragon books?
No, but I've heard.
Oh, I thought you said the Didini.
Yeah, yeah. His magic system is like, it's tied to your stamina. And so if you are like lighting a little fire, then you are expending the energy essentially to like heat up the air to that temperature to cast your little bit of fire. And like if you're picking up stones and like putting them places, it wears out like your body.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
but instead of like actually having to physically exert and take the time with it, it just kind of happens instantly.
Yes. Yeah. But all of that stamina is like drained from you instantly. Yeah.
That's good.
It's cool because they later on in the books, spoiler warning, they're like 20 years old.
Whoa.
Go read them.
Are they really?
They're pretty old.
They're not.
They're
pretty
more
old.
They are. Oh my gosh.
They're more
pretty
than
old.
10.
Yeah,
I'm looking this up.
I remember
because
seeing them in the library when I was like in high school.
I loved
In
Eragon.
middle school, maybe.
But I
never read those books,
Damn.
but I've always wanted to.
When did the first one come out?
The first one came out.
Eragon.
Sorry, I saw that the awful movie came out in 2006, and that's when I panicked because I was like, oh
the
gosh.
movie was terrible.
The book really might be
It has to
20
be.
years old.
Say it.
Oh, no. That wasn't published yet. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
it really was published in 2003.
Nice.
Damn.
I was
That was
guessing.
20
That's
years
awesome.
ago. Hey,
So
look
the
at you.
On
first,
the dot.
the first edition was 2002, but then they reprinted it in 2003 because it needed
Prettier paper.
More prints because they ran out.
So he self-published
Oh,
the first one, and then he republished with an actual publisher in 2003. This is all off Wikipedia, so like, don't sue me if that's
I've
wrong,
never
but-
gotten wrong information from Wikipedia. My hot take.
Oh, yeah.
Good point.
Oh, by the way, support Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly,
Are they going out of business?
no.
They only work off of donations.
That is true. Yeah.
They're
yeah,
also like every once in a while they're like, please.
Please.
This is like the 7th time you've used this in like a month. Please. Like, give us money.
Yeah,
And I'm
everyone
You are
really should
getting
because
value from this.
we all at some point probably still use Wikipedia. So it's
Oh,
like,
yeah. I use Wikipedia constantly.
I use them
like when it's
pretty
not
often.
that important
least
for the
once a day.
information to be accurate.
Yeah.
You're not like writing a paper off of it, but
But that's the thing, is that
But
the
the thing is,
information is usually accurate,
Yeah.
and if it's not, or if it sounds a little weird, you go to the sources, and
Yep.
that is very accurate.
Yeah, I can't tell you how often at work I'm like, what is that? Oh, there it is.
They write down Wikipedia. Yep.
Right? While I've been prepping Call of Cthulhu things, beep, 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 bam, right there in front of me.
While I've been prepping the game that we're starting, City of Mist, I've been using Wikipedia a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
We're playing City of
Me
Mist.
too.
Wow. Today's sponsor, Mist.
Misty.
Misty.
Yeah,
Thanks for the
okay,
money,
so
Misty.
fun fact.
Yeah.
I am super sad
Why?
because I really wanted to genuinely just be so egotistical and call this series City of Mist, but spell it MYST. Because I was like, haha, it's me. I'm in charge, right? But that's what the original game was called. They used to call it City of Mist, MYST. And then eventually, I don't remember when, but they changed it to MIST instead.
Okay.
The concept never really changed. It was just like,
Yeah,
I guess
just
they were
decided.
being cheeky about it. Yeah. And so now it's like, I can't call it that,
Yeah.
even though it would be sick. So
There was
instead,
a video game called MYST, Mist. 2.
Probably.
It was a weird like 90s game.
Hold on, I think I know exactly what you're talking about here.
Yeah, it was like one of those weird.
Are you looking it up on
exploration
Wikipedia?
ones.
Make sure to support your favorite Wikipedia. There's only one.
Oh, yep, found it on Wikipedia.
Oh, that's right. It was the point and click adventure game where you had to like solve a bunch of weird puzzles.
Yep.
And there was a whole thing about like going to different worlds almost. There was one that was like icy, I think, and then there was another one that was all Aztec kind of a thing.
Yeah, I didn't get very far because one of the discs was scratched, or like we were missing one of the floppy disks or something. Like it's that old.
Yeah.
But
Well, I played it
Yeah.
when I was over at my grandma's house, and there's nothing to do there.
Yeah.
So I got a pretty decent ways through, but then again, I was, a fucking middle schooler trying to play this game, and I couldn't get very far.
that's when I got good at playing the Oregon Trail on my grandma's computer. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I never played the Oregon Trail,
Dude,
and I feel like that was a rite of passage I just never got.
you haven't died of dysentery hundreds of times.
When I was in school, I played
You
like
haven't had to make
backyard
the hard
baseball.
decisions of crossing the river by fording it or by going the long way.
You say
And then
fording?
you ate your family.
What is fording?
It's like, oh man, no like Ford enthusiasts. Like, correct me on this, but they like watertight the bottom of the wagon, and then you let the oxen go ahead of you, and then you essentially just push the wagon across the water, and then when you get to the other side, you hook the oxen back up and pull it out.
And you hope nobody runs away, drowns, or dies.
Yeah,
Super efficient.
I think in
That's wild.
school,
Because there's some rivers that it's like you'd probably do all of those.
Yeah.
Or just completely submerged.
You know how I would die if I was an adventurer?
How?
Trying to do too much by myself. I
Yeah.
I genuinely think I'd be not to fucking stroke my own ego. I think I'd be a damn good adventurer. But then I would get big headed. I would go like fight the lich by myself, and I just get peached up when you can't punch a lich to
But
death.
see, that's your whole like character arc is you learn that you have to the real the real adventuring. I don't know. Basically, you just need to get friends.
yeah, the friends we made along the way.
The friends you made along the
Oh,
way.
and that's
Yeah.
why you're like, my friends are important. Power of friendship. And then you level up.
And then I level up. And then I'm
then
like,
you
wow, I
ditch us.
leveled up.
How would I die?
I think
I think I'd overthink things.
you
And then I'd just die.
would die trying to protect too many people at once. Does that make sense?
I like that better than mine.
I would die by tripping, knocking myself unconscious, and drowning in a foot of water.
What is this?
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I think
No, I for sure agree.
yeah, that's how I would die.
What are you quoting?
Nothing.
Nothing. That's just me, dude.
from your brain.
I am one of the clumsiest people that I know. I literally hit my shin like 20 minutes ago. I am bleeding just a little bit. I don't know.
I'm worried. Like, I'm honestly surprised you don't smack yourself on the stairs.
I have
he
in the
has.
past. The thing
Because
is,
that one part is just like, I almost hit it.
I am in constant pain.
But
and so
What is a little bit more?
And so I just don't bring it up, right? Like, oh man, I hit my shin again. The skin on my shins is thinner than the skin on the rest of my body because it has been destroyed so many times.
but soon it will be iron.
Nope.
No.
No, it gets worse every time. It's like paper now. Like if I rub it just wrong, it comes off.
No, I'm dead serious. Like sometimes if I
Shouldn't it be like scarring and getting?
Oh my gosh.
See that?
Wow.
no, it like doesn't really
Like-
scar. It just kind
That's
of
wild.
Keeps ripping.
keeps
Rubs
being
off.
paper. Yeah.
It's just gone now.
It's scary because sometimes, like, if he's wearing shorts or something and I, like, scrape his leg, I'm like, oh gosh, did I make you bleed?
That's
like,
part of the
literally-
reason I don't wear shorts, like almost ever.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen me in shorts?
Just now. Wait, is this shorts?
Never. No, these are sweats.
Never seen you in shorts.
I own like one pair of shorts.
Oh, that's probably
Same.
also another reason.
No, like, he doesn't buy them. He bought them, what, like a year or two ago, maybe?
He swims in shorts.
And that's
Just what?
it.
I found some really cool ones at Goodwill. And I was like, oh, I can wear this while hiking. And then I was like, no, I hate this.
And hiking.
Branches are touching me.
Yeah, shorts are dumb for hiking. I
Yeah.
say that like I've hiked in the last.
Let's go on a hike.
But
Let's
I
all
was
stop
like,
recording.
I've been hiking in my jeans, and that's hot.
That
And
seems
so
awful.
maybe I switched to like the
Dry fit.
Ranger Dan
Oh.
looking like short shorts.
No.
But
Just
no.
get leggings.
True.
Or
Dude.
just
I'm not
Go
even
with,
joking. Just get some
like-
thick leggings.
like cargo
Thick
pants.
Well, but those are also hot. Like,
But they're
jeans.
not as
Well, if
hot
they're
as jeans,
yeah,
though.
I don't know. I've never worn cargo pants.
Oh, no, they're-
I'm not
they're,
built
like-
for them.
they're
they're not
better.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I got to level 20, I would die trying to box a god, some deity. I don't know which one. Whichever one boxes, preferably.
Probably Ares.
Who?
Ares, God of War.
Oh yeah.
I bet you he boxes.
I bet he would beat my ass, but I try him.
You know who doesn't
Maybe
box?
Pandora.
Athena.
Orpheus.
Is Pandora good?
Pandora's like known for boxing.
She's known for.
Amazing.
That was the point.
I know. I just didn't want to directly say it. Oh man, today's
But then I wasn't sure
sponsor.
if Pandora was a
Some
god,
mythos.
goddess. Just a
Or was she
person.
just a mortal that opened
She was
the
just
box?
a mortal to open the box.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
She do be boxing though.
Who gave her the box?
You'd be boxing.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
You know what?
How would you
Why
die?
don't I go on to, well, how I would die is I would probably be too slow. And I would be like, oh no, fireball coming my way. Shield. And then I would just roast alive.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna stop asking because I have in my head how we would all die.
I want to
And
know
you
how
guys
you think I
keep-
would die.
I
Yeah.
just told you.
Oh, and we're
I don't
wrong?
know. Oh yeah,
You're wrong.
Okay, how do I
You would
die?
be overly ambitious with technology, and you would be trying to make some big breakthrough, but it would either fail.
Why
in-
do you pretend that I'm smart?
Dude, you're like Doc Ock.
I
You're
think you're
smart.
smart.
True.
I think you're smart. That's why I
Wait.
think you're smart because I think you're.
How do I die in your head canon?
I think you're like the hardest one. I think in most of the endings, you're like if we have a bad ending, I think you're the only one that lives. But you usually have to kill
It's
one
the
of us.
worst ending of all.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then you end up being like that grumpy old man that is like running it in. But then you see some young group talk about adventuring, and then you get like a real fall off stare, and you think about the time we all died.
I think you would do
Yep.
best as
Damn,
an
dude.
adventurer. I think you'd last the longest because you're into
Oh.
survival stuff.
I am. It's fun. I enjoy it. But
How would Misty die?
There's like a whole Missy has like the coolest storyline. Because she is both a princess and like a shadow ninja warrioress. So
She's Zelda.
Storyline.
She's Zelda.
she's Zelda. So like
Cool.
she either gets caught by her like arch nemesis and gets brutally murdered. That's usually how it goes. Like in the bad ending route. Because she doesn't get stuck in jail for very long, or she like lives, but she lives in like a real fucked up way, in the sense that she has lived long enough to become the villain.
Or like blind and deaf.
No, not
Can't
necessarily.
use more than one sense at a time. Something like that.
Something like that. But then she becomes evil, and then the cycle repeats, and then someone tries to dethrone her, like she tried to dethrone her old corrupt government.
ooh, okay.
But usually,
Honestly, I
usually
feel
we,
like that's
I do want to say, usually we all live. Like, in my head, like usually we just have
No,
cool-
you're fantasizing about our deaths. That's what's going
Hey,
on.
I'd,
how it
be
is.
I'd be dying too. Every time I get corrupted by evil, Joseph kills me, and it's like
Missy
really,
gets
really
such
sad.
A cool thing.
That is sad.
See,
Damien gets a cool thing. And
you
mine
get a
was
cool
like,
thing.
you
No,
protect
you
your
don't
friends.
understand. I'm like, because in my head you're like a shield or healer combo, like magic shields. So it's like it's literally like a billion arrows are raining down, and everybody else gets to live because you sacrificed yourself. It's not like
Because you can only choose 4 targets and you're the 5th. Like that kind of.
it's more like an entire city, right? Like or things like that. Like it's really big feats that I can't express in words because I'm dumb.
hey,
Because I'm dumb.
nice to my friend.
Because I'm
Oh, I get like the Bella power.
Bella. Like from that
Bella.
one movie? Bella?
What the fuck is her last name? Swan.
Bella Ciao.
Where she does the shield business. And then she can move it around. I don't fucking remember.
I don't know.
I know that she does shield stuff
What?
for her power.
Who? Where?
Bella Swan from
In
Twilight.
Twilight?
Oh,
In
I
Twilight?
didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know she had any
literally
powers.
Yeah.
read the first book and watched the first movie,
Wait,
and I know nothing.
When did she
past
get
that.
powers?
Did you read all the books?
No.
She had a
That's problem.
baby and turned into a vampire.
Because
Because
otherwise she would have died.
Listen,
Because
back
that
in
would
the
have been
day,
tragic.
I did read
obviously.
the first 2, but the rest of them weren't out by then. And so I was like, okay, I guess I'll never read this ever again. And that's
I'll do
Valid.
it. Do
Yeah.
I do it? Yep.
I don't.
also why I've never finished Eragon. I got through the first 3 books and
Today's sponsor.
Well, actually, I got through the first 2, and then he's like, "We're gonna finish up the trilogy," and I'm like, "Sweet!" It's only coming out in like a year, and so like I actually like waited and was like excited, and then he's like, "Just kidding, it's 4 books now," and I was like,
I'm never gonna read this.
"You've lied to me," and so
What happens next time? You're gonna say 5?
and so I started the 3rd book. I didn't finish it because someone told me like, "Oh yeah, like it's not the end." I was like, "What?"
Fuck this then.
I'm gonna have to wait like several years for the next one? No. Anyway, that's
To
also
be
how
fair,
I
though.
approach Netflix series nowadays.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
it has to be finished for me to start it.
for sure.
Then it's gonna get canceled randomly.
I think I want to reread Eragon though, and I want to bring
I
it
want to
back.
read it.
I have them on my Kindle if you want.
Let's start a
to.
I
book
don't.
club.
I want a real book,
Let's start a
so
book
I can
club.
look at it on my bookshelf.
We should.
You can
Let's
get the
start
first
I'm
one.
gonna keep saying it until they hear me.
No,
Let's start a book club.
Let's start it.
we
book
should
club?
start a book club.
Okay.
Got him.
What a great original idea, Damien.
Hey, thanks, guys.
I can't wait to quit and leave this group. And then you guys are gonna be like, "Wow, we miss Wesley so much." I wonder what he's reading now. You'll never know.
What are you reading now?
Nothing, because we don't have a book club.
Oof. What am I reading now?
I don't
Not-
like books. I don't like how they feel sometimes.
Okay,
Ooh.
you don't have ebooks. Today's
I
sponsor.
don't like looking at ebooks.
You don't-
I
What if-
didn't think that I would like my Kindle, but I love my Kindle.
What if
I
one
like
of us
the
reads them
Kindle
out
that
loud
doesn't
to you?
have the backlight.
Yeah.
Oh, you only like the front light?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the Paperwhite is what it's called.
I need one of those.
Go to roleplayrejects.com
Slash-
/Amazon/Paperwhite/
That's not.
Use
don't
code
go there.
rejects.
That's
Use
not
code
a real
reject for
thing.
25% off.
It's
not a
not
thing.
gonna go to anything if you go there.
This music is banging.
But yeah,
Is this Dresden the Flamingo?
There's no way that is that what it's called?
Well,
That's
no,
what the
that's the
artist
artist.
is called.
This
The-
isn't
the
a
song's
painting.
called
It's a
Going
song.
Shopping.
Yeah, I love this song.
It's a banger, man.
But yeah, my Kindle, you can turn the backlight off entirely.
Just
And
read
so
books.
It's just the,
Oh, but it does have a backlight?
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. I might
yeah,
get that.
and like
'cause-
when I'm laying in bed, like it's on the lowest setting that isn't off, and like it's nice because it's not like bright in my eyes.
Okay.
We should all read it.
I think I would
That
like
book
that. 'cause
together
I
as
don't
a
like
group. Aragon.
Okay.
reading on my
Hey.
phone screen because my phone screen's too small.
Do you want my extra Kindle?
Do
Dibs.
you have an extra Kindle?
He does.
I do.
Let's see.
It's called Joseph's Kindle that he will not lose.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. And
Why?
because
Did you
that
lose
was
one?
the 3rd Kindle that I bought in like a year.
Jesus Christ.
so,
How did you lose them?
so the first one, I got on a plane and then I was like, where's my Kindle? All right. The second one, all right. I was like, I was really into that book. I actually like the Kindle format. I'm ordering myself one. And so I ordered myself one, I think while I was on that trip.
Yes.
And so I ordered myself this one on the trip. All right. And I'm like, I'm not going to lose this one.
Because I'm pretty sure we were home. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you ordered it to your parents' house.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then we fly back home, and I can't find it. It's like I lost it again. I put it somewhere. I was so mad. It was just in one of my backpacks, but I did not realize that until like a year later, after I had already bought the 3rd Kindle. And the 3rd one, I bought it. I'm like, I'm naming this one Joseph's Kindle that he won't lose.
So do you still have that second one?
I do, and I actually like that one better.
Why don't you use the second one then?
He does. That's why he's
I
getting
do.
the 3rd one.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
That's why
okay.
you're
That's
getting
why
the
I
one
would
named-
get Joseph's Kindle
That he
does
absolutely will not
Yeah.
not
lose.
lose. And then you won't have to bear
Yeah.
the burden of not losing it.
I know, right?
It'll be Stevie's Kindle that she might lose.
That's fair.
Before we get on to what we're doing, I want to state that Damien doesn't like bonfires, but I also don't want anyone to like extrapolate. So let's start now.
Okay.
Yay!
What are we
Jesus.
doing today, Misty?
The shovel's outside.
No.
You're extrapolating, and I said we can't do that.
Okay.
Got him.
Well, this was a really good segue.
Yeah. So speaking of bonfires, today's sponsor, Misty.
Bonfire.
I'm not
Isn't that an
sponsoring.
app or something?
I am just here.
I think it's an app.
Okay, so we've been teasing this for a while now. We're finally actually presenting City of Mist to you. It is a TTRPG, obviously, since we play those types of games. And for those of you who know what this means, it is a game based off of the Powered by the Apocalypse rule set. Thirsty Sword Lesbians, Monster of the Week, and Avatar Legends are all pretty popular games that play using this type of system. They're obviously all pretty unique in their own right, and I'm sure that we'll eventually play any of those games at some point. What's up?
Did you say Thirsty Sword Lesbian?
Yeah, that name
sure
also caught my
did.
ear. That was like,
All right,
that
sure
sounds
did.
like a based ass
Leslie and I were
game.
No,
both
it-
kind of like, he was like,
Are you-
Thirsty Sword Lesbian? And I was like, yeah.
Because I saw your
I
hand
think-
go up, I was like, are you going to ask about what I think you're going to ask about? Of course. I'm not going to ask about
I just
monsters.
want to clarify.
Yeah.
We can move on.
Next game.
I wasn't sure if I just heard that wrong.
Yeah, so it's a role-playing... So Thirsty Sword Lesbians is a role-playing game for telling queer stories with friends.
Oh.
If you love angsty disaster lesbians with swords, you have come to the right place, is what it says on the description.
Sounds like a great time.
It sounds like a group I want to be part
Yeah,
of,
no,
man.
like it's genuinely one that I think would be really fun to play eventually, but, you know...
Okay.
Our demographic is a little weird as far as like our table goes, so I don't know if that's a game that everybody is.
You don't think I could be a thirsty sword lesbian?
I'm not saying you couldn't. I'm just saying I'm not sure that that's one that we
I say
would
this all
just
the
like
time.
automatically want to play.
Being a thirsty
We would need
sword
to have an
lesbian
actual
It's
conversation
not what's in
about that
here.
one.
is a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Just like being a mushroom. Being a berry, I mean.
No. What?
Yeah.
What do you...
That's what I was thinking.
Being a berry?
Yeah.
When were we berries?
Don't worry about it. Let's move on.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry we're like this. Well, stop. We won't.
I'm
won't.
telling him. I'm telling him to move on.
Me? I'm apologizing for your outburst. You lint liquor.
Okay, so City of Mist is really cool. It's set in a modern day setting normally. You can obviously have any range of that modern. Like some people play it as like a classic noir type detective game where it's set in like, I don't know, like the 50s, let's say, and
Everything's in black and white.
everything's in black and white. Everything is like dimly lit and everybody smokes indoors or whatever. You can do it that way. You can have it be kind of cyberpunky where it's like a futuristic city. And it's pretty cool in its concept as far as like there's a lot of ambiguity that the game offers so that you can really create like your own space, your own environment, your own characters, and it's super customizable that way. So, getting into character creation, we'll kind of go through some of the nuances to the game as far as some of like the vocabulary, I guess, that's kind of unique to this game. And once we do character creation and we get into a point where we can start playing, I'll start introducing more of the actual rules to the game. City of Mist is interesting because it is actually a little bit more complicated than it looks at first. When you look at it, the basic concept is really easy, right? Like you are playing a character who it has some aspect of a myth, legend, or concept that is bound to your character. And you've kind of got to find like a work-life balance essentially between your cool mystical powers and your human identity.
Do you have examples of the kinds of myths, legends, concepts?
Could we have been Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah.
Whoa. Sorry.
Oh.
He looked right at Damien when he said that, I want to point out.
I'm Juliet, obviously.
No, I want to be Juliet.
Oh, no.
Okay, so some examples. Yeah, you could be Romeo and Juliet. You could be Zeus. You could be in the examples that they like the pre-gen characters that they have I'm gonna pronounce it stupid, but I think it's Chalik. He's a weather god, like a rain god, I want to say.
Potomac? Isn't that a river?
I think that's a Native American tribe.
The Potomac?
Yeah, I think the Potomac
It's a river
was
for
named
sure.
after the tribe.
It's TLALOC. Talik. I feel so bad that I don't know how to say that. But yeah, he's an Aztec god of rain. You could be an item, right? Essentially, like, think of cool nouns, and that's what you can be. So you could be like an item. One of the pre-gen characters is Excalibur, the sword.
That's me. Wait, is that spoilers?
I mean, not really. It's fine.
I was trying to think of an object, and I was like, a fish bucket.
I guess if there was a mystical one.
I don't know why I've never seen a fish bucket in my life.
Isn't there a magical spool of thread?
Ooh.
Yes.
There is.
From like Rumpelstiltskin or something
Oh,
like
it's
that,
like
maybe?
where
Oh,
she
dude.
spins the stuff, the straw into gold.
Oh,
yeah,
what's her?
yeah.
Who does that?
Lady from Rumpelstiltskin. I don't know.
Is
her
it
name.
from Rumpelstiltskin? Oh yeah, because he says.
Yeah, because he's like, yeah.
Now spin all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
could be Rumpelstiltskin.
You
Yeah.
could.
That'd
Dude.
be toxic.
He's always cool when he shows up.
You can also be like
Tuesday.
real people, and then you base your character off of the like myths and legends that surrounded that person. So like you could be like Alexander the Great, for example, and then
Genghis
just
Khan.
take like Genghis Khan, take those
Lubu.
really cool stories about him and roll that into your character. So with your characters, just to kind of like set up a little bit of understanding before we go into character generation. In City of Mist, you've got 3 main types of people. Okay, you've got the sleepers, and they are called sleepers because they don't know what's going on. They're oblivious to everything that's happening in the city that's of like magical power. And that's due to the surrounding mist that kind of keeps everybody from knowing the truth throughout the city. Okay.
So it's kind of Percy Jackson rules.
That's why they call it City
Yeah.
of Mist. I forgot they did that. in
I
Percy
didn't know that
Jackson.
was why they were called City of Mist.
yeah. It
Oh.
reminds me a lot of Percy Jackson.
I
think
love
that's
that
a great.
series.
Me
I
too.
really need to
Read it. We should
read.
start. A
Yeah,
book
I was
club.
like, read? Watch?
Don't watch the movies.
Don't watch the movies.
The other type, which is what you guys will be, are called rifts. Rifts are people that have essentially been chosen in some form or fashion, or have been awakened because of some event or whatever to the fact that they have these powers or abilities, right? Or maybe a higher purpose. And then you've got, what are they called? Excuse me. They are called avatars. Avatars are essentially people who are no longer doing the work-life balance of it all, being a real human and doing cool power stuff on the side. They are all in on their powers. Okay. For the rifts, you've got 2 sides of your character. You've got logos, which is your human identity. And then you've got mythos, which is your myth, legend, or concept that is tied to you for whatever reason. You've got to find, like I said earlier, kind of that like work-life balance of your logos and your mythos, or you risk falling asleep and forgetting that your powers, forgetting about your powers and any potential higher purpose that you may have. Or the opposite can happen and you become an avatar and you forsake the life that you have had up to this point, and those that you love in pursuit of your mythos's goals. So with that, do you guys have any other questions before we jump in, get started?
No?
Okay. So City of Mist is really cool as far as like helping you create your character. And a big part of their game is called the exposition session, and that is essentially the session 0, and it's built into their game. So that's what we're gonna do is our exposition session. And the first step to creating our characters is to establish the series concept. Then we'll actually do the like writing down of our characters and whatnot. Then we'll finalize the crew. And then the next step is called A Day in the Life. And that's where we play through, kind of get a feel of some of the rules and start our story. So, series concept wise, we're going to decide what type of crew we are.
We're evil.
What brought us together, what kind of investigations will be at the center of your story. You're not doing that. I'm sorry. You don't get to choose your investigations. I'm doing that.
Damn.
Normally, if we weren't following a module, you would kind of determine, like, are we doing more gory things, or are we doing, like, literal gumshoe detective type stuff, or do we only solve burglaries? I don't know. You can choose that type of thing. But yeah, so first thing that I want to talk through with you guys is what type of crew you are and what brought you together. And this is something that I know we've talked through before off mic, so like, no worries as far as like feeling like you don't have to like get into a new argument on what you want to be. But
We could.
somebody introduce what you decided together.
Wait, like as a group, like we
Yeah, how we got together.
trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bar called Trivia on Tap.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's what
Yeah.
it's called. That's sick.
And our team name is Trivia New Roman.
Yes. Yep.
Oh.
So silly. They literally Googled good trivia
Trivia.
names. And
Yeah, and we've
It's a pretty good
That's
one.
a good
It's
one.
had like
8
4
billion.
to 5 months to think of something new, but we haven't. So
It's hard to beat that.
And how is, like, what is getting you guys into solving crime? Because, like, you met during trivia, but
So the theme of the trivia night was serial killers. And all of us knew a little bit more than your average, schmuck. And so we decided to hang out and talk about serial killers, and that's where it all started.
awesome. Any other thoughts that you guys wanted to get out before
What'd you call me?
you heard me?
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing that I could think is like maybe trivia was just getting too trivial for us.
Yeah. We win every single month.
Every single month. So maybe we just kind of like one of the classic, we walk out of trivia and then, you see a flyer for like, I don't know, missing person or something. And we're like, I bet we can
Ooh,
figure
yeah.
that out.
Missing person on the telephone pole type thing.
Yeah. I was thinking something like
Just in
that.
black and white wall smoking.
I was thinking something like that, or like the neighborhood is just kind of starting to get a little bit more criminally active.
Yeah.
And we're like, I really like this spot though.
Yeah, I don't want to move, so let's just eradicate all crime.
Yeah. I
Good.
am the night.
Really quick, I want to introduce this idea because I thought it would be really cool. None of us are doing it, but I want to voice it. Wouldn't it be kind of sick if you came from like we were talking about Alexander the Great? Wouldn't it be sick if you were playing a character that was a descendant of Alexander the Great that discovered that he had his mythos and then had to deal with the struggle of like living in his shadow and also trying to find your own identity? But while trying to find your identity, you literally draw on the mythos that was Alexander the Great. That'd be crazy. That's it.
Yeah, I like that.
Is that your character?
No.
Okay.
I just think someone out there listening to this that decides to play this later, do something with that idea at some point. You don't have to be Alexander the Great, but like that's a cool premise is all I want to say. I didn't want to lose it, so I spoke it abruptly.
No, that is pretty good.
sometimes you gotta but make it be in. Never mind. You gotta say it.
Yeah,
in the world.
Yeah.
I feel
Thank you.
Have to manifest it.
Yeah.
Not me though. I can't.
Goodness gracious. Okay. So, we are casual detectives, I guess, is what we would call it.
I like to think of it as pre-professionals.
Amateurs.
Armchair detective.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
That's the term. Yeah.
We were armchair detectives.
Except me, I'm an actual cop.
But
Right?
you're an actual cop.
Oh, you
Yeah.
are, aren't you?
He's
Yeah.
a cop.
You're a cop.
Yeah. But other than that, I'm as armchair as everyone else.
Yeah, just because you're a cop doesn't mean you're a detective, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time you walk in and like sit down at the table, am I being detained?
I like to think it's like one of those, that classic shtick of like, we have a friend that's a cop that legally shouldn't be helping us, but really wants to see these criminals brought to justice. So he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's me.
Ooh, so maybe you saw potential in us and we're kind of like,
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe like no one
He's
else
like
will.
low-key recruiting.
Every time we walk by the sign that says, apply now to your local police station, I'm like, whoa, that's crazy.
ooh. So then are you the one who brought us all together and then we, solved some mystery and then we casually were like, hey, trivia.
I think it's the opposite. I think we used to all hang out at trivia, and at some point, you guys decided, oh, we're going to solve this mystery, while I was also working on the same case, and you guys actually solved the mystery. I was like, whoa. I should work with these guys.
You guys want to do that again? Get me on the next promotion?
It could be something just simply like you're talking about, or maybe we're all just talking about some local case and then we theorize something all together and then it kind of like light bulb in your head.
I like to think too that's like some of it is like I can't do certain like routes of investigation
It's
because
the
of
red tape.
yeah, exactly right. But we can off the clock.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing like breaking crime
Anonymous
to solve
source.
crime.
Breaking crime.
That's not what I meant, but you all knew what I meant. Everyone, shut up, listeners, shut up.
Okay. And then we have to pick like a
mascot.
setting, which we've talked about before. And I think what we kind of decided is what they call the dreary present. Says
Yeah.
your story is a noir-inspired detective story set nowadays. All the challenges of the world as you know it are included: an overcrowded city, growing social alienation to the point of mass psychosis,
Jesus.
unchecked consumerism, etc. The ghost dimension of the internet is superimposed on all aspects of life, although it may not be a focus of your series. People live in an almost impenetrable bubble of distraction, giving the mist a whole new interpretation. And there's that. Or another similar one is setting it in an actual real life city. So we can have our pretend city,
I like our
modern
pretend
day, or we can have a real city that I base things off of.
Pretend City.
Pretend city for sure. And
Okay.
I mean, I imagine we can just incorporate
That sounds like an
real
app.
city
Pretend city.
stuff.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was planning on, so I'm glad you chose
make that
it
app.
because
Yeah.
I really didn't want to look up actual cities, if I'm being honest. But
New Jersey. Hey, I'm walking here.
goodness gracious. Okay.
Forget about
One
it.
of us is a cast member on Jersey Shore.
Oh, no.
Oh, gosh.
No,
Just gotta
we're
go
definitely
TTL.
doing a pretend city. Okay, so now we can actually get into your individual characters. And I know you guys have already picked concepts. I've got backstories. But we're going to go through the actual, like, writing down onto our character sheets. And then we can explain our characters a little bit more in depth if you'd like, okay?
Okay.
I love this track. I wish it would play in the background of my life every day forever.
Right? It's just like, how are you going to be sad when you're listening to Going Shopping by Dresden the Flamingo?
Do you guys want to come with me to rent a suit? We can talk about this off mic.
Okay. I was like, that's kind of,
Sorry.
Why do you need a suit?
We're
yeah.
going to a wedding.
When?
The end of this month / next month.
Where
I
are
guess
you
next
going?
month.
Where's the suit? Where are you getting it from?
I was thinking Men's Warehouse, but that's
We can talk about this later.
That's a decent place to go.
We should talk about this
yeah,
later.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I'm the one that was like, let me ask you 5 questions to say, stop talking to me.
Like, oh.
Okay.
I want a cool name, but I'm bad at coming up with cool names.
Well,
Yeah, I don't have a name on my character sheet, so I'm like, what was my name?
Can pull the people.
We threw out her name.
Name. I got nothing got a name. Fine dining and breathing.
Okay, so
That's my name.
The-
My name would be SpongeBob.
the character sheet is a little bit different than normal character sheets. They're kind of based off of cards, essentially. It's like a long card that in an ideal world we would have like dry erase versions of, where like front and back, and then you can put your stuff on it. And then if things change for your character, because your character sheet is dynamic, more dynamic than a lot of games, you would kind of just like wipe it away and call it a day.
I can laminate these.
Yeah, we might want to try that, to be honest, just to help.
We can
everybody
print
out,
out
but
new
it's
ones
fine.
that are double-sided, so I don't have to laminate as much.
So the first card that you have is the character card. On the first blanks above where it says player, there's like 2 lines. That's where you'll put your character name and any like nickname that they go by, if you have that.
Like right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a name yet, it's okay. Like
Okay.
you're not gonna
I just don't want to fail.
be left behind. You'll be okay. You do need a name at some point, so we might want to get to thonkin.
Excalibur, bro.
Just my mythos.
So-
Okay, and then the number 2 spot is player,
Maybe
and that's
Axel.
your actual name.
Man,
Whoa.
I can't think of my
I
name.
I
forgot.
can't. Yeah, I didn't know there'd be a test.
How do you spell it again?
Underneath that, you've got the spot for mythos, and that's what
Excalibur.
mythos. Yeah, like Wesley's going to be Excalibur, just a little bit of a different flavor than the pre-gen. Your crew.
The 5 aces. Sorry.
The what?
The 5 aces.
I don't know what that means.
That's our crew name.
The faces?
That's not.
I don't think that's our.
It's not, but wouldn't it be kind of sick? We should do a baseball
That's a good
game
one.
and call ourselves the 5 aces.
You can go ahead and put each other's names. What?
Just skip logos.
I did. I'm sorry.
I forgive you.
Number 4. So right under Mythos, there's a logo spot. The logo spot is what your person does. So you've already written your character name up at the top, right? So you don't need to write your character name. You're going to put down like police officer.
What's the local university called?
Oh yes, I
Local
owe
university.
that to you. It is
You also go to local university?
I think he.
I teach at local university.
Oh.
it is
Oh.
Oh.
What do you teach?
I'm trying to give you local university's name. Goodness
is it?
gracious. It is Ptolemy University, and it's spelled
Ooh.
Ptolemy.
I'm sorry I like this.
I honestly am at my wit's end.
I'm
with
sorry.
you guys. It's okay.
It wasn't even me. It was them. Forget mad at them.
Everyone.
Everyone gets mad at me in
at
this group, bro. What is this? Magnetic? Sorry.
Listeners are going to be like, what the fuck? Misty is so mean whenever she GMs.
She's mean always.
It's
That's
true.
because they don't get the unedited version.
True.
Sorry, guys. I don't know. I'm apologizing to you guys. I don't care about you guys. Sorry, Misty.
I hate it here, bro. No, not once has anyone been like, wow, Wesley, I'm really happy to see you. It's always this kind of stuff, bro, where people are like, I hate you.
No, I was saying that to the listeners.
I hate them too.
I don't care about them. I care about you guys.
No, don't try to kiss up now.
Sorry, listeners. Let's just cut this
I
out.
teach
probably.
ancient history and some religion studies.
Okay, I'm definitely not in your classes then.
What do you study?
I am failing math and studying music.
Based.
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't even have like a history credit that you have to fill?
No.
Sure he does.
I'm sure he does.
Listen, I am not that good at school. I don't know what credits I need for my degree. I'm just taking what feels right,
He just
okay?
knows he can learn about music
Absolutely.
here.
I'm trying to find myself.
Aren't we all, man?
You get me.
Okay, so now on to 5. That's where you write down your crew. Your crew, yeah.
Are we putting everybody else's player name or their name?
Put their player name.
Like their...
What? Their character name. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I know that was just even more confusing, but their character name.
Okay.
And then obviously if they don't have one yet, it's okay. You won't have help or hurt points for them yet, so don't worry about that.
I'm hurting them?
No.
Okay. Hello. I am Professor Alexander Cross.
Fuck!
Dude, why do you have a name?
I was about
Calm
to be
down.
Axel. I was gonna be Alex Lowe, but we can't both be Alex.
Yeah,
bro.
you can.
We can't. I'm Axel now.
He goes by Alexander.
I'm Edgar.
Yeah, it's Alexander, not Alex.
Fine, I'm Alex then. No
Or-
relation
or
to Alexander.
Professor.
Because everybody has the same
Gotta
name.
remember
is
the
same.
title there.
Alexander what?
Cross.
I'm just gonna draw a cross.
Smart.
I think you're gonna think that's a T later.
I won't. I didn't draw a cross. I wrote cross.
Okay.
What's your character's name? Alex Lowe. Lowe. With no relation to Lowe's of Lowe's. There's no...
I don't have a last name.
That's okay.
What's your first name?
Olivia.
Olivia what? Sorry.
Garner.
No. I must choose my own.
Okay.
Turquoise?
No.
Ruby.
What's Joseph's name?
OP.
Spell it.
Opie.
O-P-E.
It's just OP.
O-P.
Yeah. It's
How would
for,
you describe your power scaling?
It's for Oscar Paul, but I don't like that, so I go
Okay.
by OP.
I just think original
Oh.
poster.
I think overpowered.
Yeah.
That
one-
makes me feel like I'm on the internet too much then.
No, I am too. Near these were cool, right? Like, we're not well-adjusted members of society. We have a TTRPG podcast. Hello?
Yeah.
What's your character's name?
Last name Usher.
O.P. Usher?
OP Usher.
I thought P was your last name.
It's a normal last name, okay?
I don't know.
I've never met an Usher.
I only know of one Usher.
I know of 2.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
I know of funeral ushers.
There's funeral ushers. There's like hallway ushers.
Are there ushers in weddings?
Yes.
Sometimes.
Who's
Yeah.
ushing the halls?
Sorry, I don't like ushing. I don't like that. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna ush over there.
But there's also
hate
an
that.
Edgar Allan Poe
He was an usher?
story, and someone's named Usher in it.
Oh, that doesn't count as knowing an usher. You don't know that guy.
You
What do we
don't
fill out
know
next?
You don't know the Usher either.
You don't know me.
Okay. The story tags portion, leave it alone. Essentially, what happens with story tags is as we go throughout the story, that portion will change. For example, right? Like maybe you get the story tag flare gun. Okay. And you use the flare gun at some point. It no longer is part of, like, you don't have that as a story tag anymore, but it's something that you can use during a certain portion of the story. It'll make more sense later, I promise. But
Should I imagine tags the same way that we did for Lady Blackbird?
Similar, yeah. So tags help with your roles, and we'll get to that a little further on in story creation, but essentially each tag you have adds to your role, and story tags are similar, but they can either add or subtract to your role, right? So maybe you have a story tag that says, like, I don't know,
Ate too much.
yeah, and then you're slow, right?
Could be like that sometimes.
And do be like that. What's up?
My last name is Gibbs.
Gibbs with 2 B's.
Yeah,
Olivia
like the guy
Gibbs.
in Pirates of the
That's what
Caribbean.
I was thinking. Oh yeah, you've been on a pirates kick lately. That's-
Have you found the One Piece?
No.
Wait, and your last name is Cross.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's your name? Cop?
Low. Alex
Do I
Lowe.
write my own name in the crew thing or no?
No.
Because it's most okay.
It's implied that you're part of your own crew. But I guess you don't have to be.
You never really know.
Sometimes your biggest traitor is yourself.
Goodness gracious.
Sometimes the biggest traitor is the friends you made along the way.
Oh God.
Those are the worst times.
Okay, so the next portion of your character card, which would be like if we flipped it over, right? You'd see that there's the build up.
Yes.
Ignore that for now.
Okay.
Then there's moments of evolution. Again, ignore that for now.
Wait.
What's up?
Never mind. I found it. I was like, I don't see moments of evolution, but I do. Sorry.
Are these supposed to be like cards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is there a way to print them out like that?
So there's not a way to print them out like that. I need to double check on the website and see if they sell the cards themselves.
Oh.
But yeah.
Because it just clicked that they're cards. That they're supposed to be cards.
Are we gonna have a nemesis?
You can have a nemesis. You can also gain nemesis.
Cool.
That's such a cool word, nemesis.
So with real quick though, with moments of evolution, essentially what happens is when you lose a theme because it's faded or cracked, you get the build-up points, which are above, right? Once you get 5 build-up points, you get a moment of evolution, which is essentially a complete character level up. But it doesn't come without consequence. The theme that you lose takes on the form of a nemesis in some way. That can be an NPC or a curse that's put on you, or I don't know, I take your coolest weapon away. I don't know.
No.
So, but the idea, right, is like you are your coolest weapon.
My wit.
As you level up, that's good for you, but it's not all positives. There's sometimes negatives. And
You gotta give
when
things
I
up to grow.
Just
talk
like
about
real
the
life.
theme, that's the next cards that we'll get into. That like detail out your character a little bit more.
I was really wanting us to have the nemesis of a rival trivia group called Factually.
You
Factually?
you can have a crew
I'm writing it
nemesis.
Let's kill them. But legally.
Factually.
No. Bro.
Amazing.
Hate them already. They don't even exist yet.
Yeah, because you don't have to start with a nemesis, but I think it makes sense that these are a group of nerds that you compete with a lot, you know?
I mean, compete would mean that they have a chance.
But would they be your nemesis if they didn't?
Oh, fuck. She's onto something. She's cooking.
Okay.
Because otherwise they'd just be obnoxious. And
It's
dumb.
like the months when one of us can't show up. They just
our groove is
barely
off.
edge
Just
in.
barely.
Yeah.
You guys only have trivia once a month?
Yeah, I guess.
Once a week?
Once a
Twice-
week. It's every
twice a
Friday.
month.
Once a week's more
Yo, you're me, bro.
We are kind of the same. And
So
for
what-
that, I
what is it?
apologize.
We could have been
Twice a month.
Gemini.
The 1st and the 15th.
So I
want
already
to,
already
it's not
wrote
too
in
late.
my
It is.
backstory. It's every Friday.
Oh, okay. All
What if
right.
we ever play
It's
this
every
game again?
Friday
It's
if it's
every
in your
Friday.
backstory.
Okay. That's what I thought. I was like, I feel like once a month is
Yeah,
Not
that is
many.
kind
not
of.
quite
I would
as many
stop caring about you guys.
as the backstories have said.
What is it, the backstory? Weekly?
Yeah,
Yeah.
every Friday.
Every
it is
Friday.
weekly now?
Yeah.
I guess it always has
It's in
been.
Damien's backstory.
It was
So
it
it
was
is law.
decided before Damien's backstory that
Yeah,
you guys
I'm pretty
did
sure
it
like
weekly.
we all talked about this. Yeah.
But I wanted to make sure that I wasn't misremembering because y'all know I don't have the best of memories.
None of us do.
I do.
Wesley does.
Do you?
No,
Okay.
but I like to lie. I'm just kidding. Hey, listeners, it's a joke. I don't
If
lie
you
that
guys
often.
want to change and be Gemini, you can.
We can't. Because then who's going to be Excalibur?
No one has to be Excalibur when we have Gemini.
I guess that's true. And then you'll be like, never mind. I don't want to do it. I want to be Excalibur.
Oh,
but
okay.
but we have to replay this game at some point because I do also want to do that. I'm sorry. You sounded disappointed. I'm really excited to be
I
Excalibur.
mean, if
okay?
Misty kills you off,
True.
I know.
then you can play Gemini.
Session 1.
But I also want to be.
How are we supposed to casually like, hey, so
She would also
you
have
need
to
new
kill-
trivia partner?
She would also have to kill both of us because we would both be switching characters.
I'll figure it out.
Okay. Also, don't do that. Do it. Let's just play.
Gemini is a cool idea. We don't have to do it in this game. We can do it in other stuff.
Yeah, dude.
That's true.
Subscribe to our Patreon.
There's nothing there.
Not yet.
Nothing Gemini related.
Not yet.
Okay. The next thing we're gonna do is the theme cards sheet, and you're gonna need to look at the front and the back.
At the same time?
Not really at the same time, but
We can.
just look at it stacked together, right? So like this one corresponds with this one.
Oh.
Right. So as we're sorry.
Okay.
As we're going through it, you'll fill out that card that corresponds with the right one.
Yeah.
Okay. So with the theme card, the first thing that you'll see at the very top is the type. And that is going to be the theme. Let's see. Sorry. The theme type, and it says it defines the nature, and you essentially you choose one out of the 14 theme types. We actually have access to a few more types because we have
The DLC.
newer, yeah. But essentially, if you just go based off of the original book, you have 7 logos types and then 7 mythos types. When you're looking at your character, you're going to want to determine how many cards are logos and how many are mythos. Keep in mind that you cannot have all logos or all mythos starting out as a character. You must have at least one of each. Now, a 50-50 split is totally cool. You're not going to be... It's not the same as, like, averaging out your character in D&D or something where it's like, they're all sort of kind of good at everything, right? It's not the same. Keep in mind that, like, with these cards, we're looking at that work-life balance. So if you have 50-50, maybe you just, maybe, like, you're balancing things pretty well, right? If you have 1 logos and 3 mythos, you're pulling more towards that mystical side, and you're slowly creeping into the becoming an avatar realm. If you have 3 logos and 1 mythos, maybe you just barely woke up and you are just learning your powers. Or maybe you are feeling very burdened by your powers and you're kind of shying away from them. So just kind of think through, like, what makes the most sense as far as that goes. And then I'm going to pass around the book so we can look at the actual names of the theme cards, and we'll talk through which ones you guys pick once we've picked them out.
And just so we all know, basically, if you had all 4 of your theme cards as mythos, you are an avatar.
Right.
And if you had all 4 as logos, you are sleeper.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. We're gonna go through these real quick and take a pause.
Take a word from our sponsor.
Me. Hi, how's it going?
I said word. That was too many words.
Word to your mother.
Okay, so at the top of your theme cards, you've got the type, and then underneath that, in the 2 lines below that, it's that's where the title goes, and it's essentially a descriptive name for the theme that you've chosen for that card. So for the example in the book that I'm going off of, the type is routine, and then the title is Searching for the Lost. Then you've got the attention and the fade or crack trackers. Attention is for the theme's growth. When it's full, you reset it and you choose an improvement. The fade or crack tracker is for the theme's deterioration. When it's full, you replace the theme. So you get a new card, essentially. And if that happens... Oh yeah, if that happens, like we talked about a little bit ago, you have that, like, moment of evolution that we talked about and all that. Your cards, they're it's essentially use them or lose them, right? The more you use that card, the more you gain in that card. If you don't use it, you get crack or fade and you end up losing it. And that can, like we talked about, come back to bite you. The next section is the mystery or identity section. That is a question or statement that drives your character based off of this specific theme. Okay, so in the example, it says, the people of this neighborhood deserve to know. That's their identity. For the next part, it's the power tag part. And I know that this one is a little bit interesting. There are 7 slots for power tags. You get to start out with 3. The letters of the questions that were used to create them are what's in that first little section off to the side. And then...
Oh, I forgot to do that.
That's okay. Their burn status is the little flame off to the right. And when you burn a power tag, essentially what happens is if you burn a power tag, you lose it until you get downtime. And then when you get downtime, it can come back. But if you've burnt it, that means that you can't use it for that whole time. So it could be a while, right, before you get to use it again. But when you burn it, you get an automatic success. So it does kind of create that cool dynamic of like, I haven't used this particular tag in a while. Maybe it's worth burning. Or if you're in dire straits, maybe that's something that you can do to help make sure that you get what you're wanting. With the power tags, you need to have 3 power tags and then the 1 weakness tag, which we'll go over in a second. Out of those 3 per card, you can only have 1 broad tag, and the rest have to be specific. So, for example, this one says, for theirs, they have investigative reporter, lockpicking, and then sorrow for the victims, right? Investigative reporter is kind of broad, right? Like they do be investigating, right?
They do be.
Whereas, you know, if they wanted to make that less broad, it could be like specifically an investigative reporter on homicides, right? Like I'm a homicide reporter. Got it. That's way more specific than just like investigative in general. Weakness tags are the last slot on the front of that card. And there's 3 slots for weakness tags. And essentially, this is a weakness that's tied to that card that can... It kind of just helps your character be more well-rounded, right? Like, in the example, it says a weakness tag is that he's he has a weakness to reluctant witnesses, right? So maybe when a witness doesn't want to give information, I don't know, maybe he flies off the handle and he's like really pissed or something, and like that can hinder what he's trying to get done in that investigative reporter type thing that he's trying to do. On the other side, you've got the improvements, which, like we talked about, as you get more attention, you can add improvements. And there's a list of theme-specific improvements that you'll end up creating for your character. And then the flip side is a speculation about what would happen if you replaced this theme with a theme from the other side. So if it's a Logos theme, what would happen if you replace this for Mythos? So for his, this is a Logos theme in this example. And if he replaced it with a Mythos, he says, if Sullivan loses his job as a reporter, he will gain a mobility theme and become a vagabond. So that's something for you guys to think about and write down when you get a second. And it's to essentially remind yourself of the consequence of losing or trading out this card for something else.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of the rundown of the character sheet. As we continue on, we'll go over kind of how the book asks us to do character creation, and we'll explain your guys' characters. I just wanted to make sure that we got your character sheets set up before we tried doing that, so it wasn't mass chaos when we were trying to record. But first thing in their book is the character concept. So you're answering which legend has taken root in me and who am I in everyday life in the city. So if you guys are cool with it, we can just go around the table and you guys can tell me what your legend is and who you are as a normal human. Josie, you want to start?
Yeah. So I am Oscar Paul Usher. My mythos is Orpheus, and I am a starving musician / college student, just doing gig work, going from one bar to the other. That's originally why I was at the trivia bar, but then I was like, yeah, it's kind of fun. I'm just gonna stay a little bit later today and do trivia. But yeah, I play guitar and have a dead girlfriend.
Okay, I was gonna say Orpheus is that one that turned around, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot about
Yeah, that's Orpheus. So
Do you want to give a little bit of
the story of Orpheus.
Yeah. For each of your guys' characters, when you explain the myth, like it doesn't have to be super in depth, but just give like a little taste of what that myth is, because there's so many
Good
different
point. Yeah.
legends and myths out there in different cultures, and people might not know.
So the story of Orpheus in the underworld is so Orpheus is a bard, essentially, known for playing beautiful music. And on his wedding night, his wife is bit by a snake and she dies.
Rip.
And so he goes down into the underworld and like charms Cerberus as he's like going on down. He like charms a bunch of like demons or whatever. And he finally gets
Bard of the Year.
right. And he finally gets to Hades and Persephone, and he's like, "Hey, can I see my, my wife? Let me take her back up to the land of the living." And Hades at first says no, and then he plays a little song, and Persephone's like,
That was pretty good.
He's really in love, so we should probably let him go up. And Hades is like, okay, like you made my wife happy, whatever. So if you walk out of hell without looking back, then you can walk out with her. And as he's walking out of hell, he doesn't hear the footsteps, and he's like, do you think he's just messing with me? Like, this is a long walk. And the entire time he's like second guessing himself. And then right before he steps out of hell, he looks back, sees her for a split second, and then she is dragged back down to hell. And he now just like wanders the world playing his guitar, or his lyre in old times. Yeah. So that's the story of Orpheus, right? And my character is the reincarnation of that. He also has a dead girlfriend.
Damn.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
That's hard to follow. I guess
So, which legend, and then your normal.
the normal guy story. I'm the personification of Excalibur, which I guess can kind of mean a lot of things to different people, like the sword from the stone, and that's cool. My interpretation of it, at least in the realms of this game, is going to be a weapon for the people against evil, right? That's kind of how it's going to personify. And my guy, his name is Alex Lowe. He doesn't own a Lowe's, but he is a dude, and he's a cop. That's his story. He likes trivia on Friday nights. But yeah, that's his kind of way. I guess that's kind of his way of casually doing it. Like, normally, I think he would have been a cop even if he wasn't Excalibur. But yeah, that's him.
So, just for clarification, so the pre-gen character, Excalibur, she has
A bracelet.
a bracelet that is essentially the sword Excalibur, and she uses it as a weapon. You, being the personification of the sword, like you don't have a sword called Excalibur, right? Like you
that dumb
yourself. No,
if
no, no.
I do? Because I did.
clarify.
I'm
Yeah.
just clarifying because there is the pre-gen character, so I want to make
Yeah.
sure that if anybody's played the game before, they understand the distinction that you're making.
Yeah, it is. It is. I don't know, because I didn't think about that too in depth until just now. I did write that he has a bracelet similarly. So he has one.
Okay,
That's my
fine.
story.
Yeah,
I think the pre-gen
it's
also
a cool weapon.
can
So
turn into any weapon, and his can do too. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if that's a lame answer.
No, I don't think that's lame at all. I just wanted to make sure that, like I said, like if somebody has played before, they kind of understand the difference in direction that you're taking.
I think that is the only similarity between the two is the bracelet.
Yeah. And honestly, like the bracelet's such a cool
The
idea.
bracelet's
I
so
absolutely
sick.
am.
It's my favorite
cool
part
with
of the.
you. Yeah.
the
Go ahead, Steel King. That's
will.
what the best creators do.
That's
They do.
true.
100%.
8 billion%.
Honestly, that's kind of why this game is so cracked, is because
It's all stolen
it's
content.
all just stolen. It's like, oh, you heard a cool story once?
Use
Sick.
it.
That's you.
Now's your
It's yours
time.
now. Yeah.
Steal it with reckless abandon, and no one will care.
Hello, I'm Professor Alexander Cross. My mythos, of course, being the Library of Alexandria. This was an ancient library in Alexandria, Egypt, originally created, of course, by Demetrius of Valerium, who was an exiled Athenian currently living in Alexandria. Now, this was originally designed, dedicated really to the muses, the 9 goddesses of the arts. And, well, with my mythos, I have it's more like a spectral book of sorts that I can open and then travel to a strange representation of the Library of Alexandria. Currently, though, Professor Alexander Cross works at Ptolemy University as a tenured professor, of course, teaching history, more specifically ancient histories. He is very studied in the subject.
What a nerd.
He's also 56 years old.
He's
'cause
56?
Yeah.
He's an older gentleman who has dedicated most of his life to study.
Almost
There's
retirement
9
age.
muses? I actually didn't know that.
There's a lot. Hercules makes you think there's only 5, but
There was 5 in Hercules?
I
yeah.
thought there was 3.
I thought there was 3.
No.
There
There's
were only
5.
the singing women?
Yeah.
There were only 3.
No, there's 5.
There's 5 of them.
There's 5.
Is there 5 of them?
Yeah, because
I believe
they-
them. No offense.
I know. I don't blame you. If I was you, I'd.
My memory of Disney movies is wrong.
Why'd you say that so
watch
fast?
me also be
Yeah,
wrong.
I'm
like,
pretty
"No, it
sure-
is
I'm-
5."
I'm
There
pretty
was
sure it's 3.
3 were the main
The
singers, and then there
muses.
was 2 that were almost dedicated backup singers.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
shit, there's
totally
5
right.
of
There's
them.
5. Yeah.
Hey, sorry, Herc.
I'm sorry. I was like doing the dance in my head. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I'm
Yeah, because I could only remember 3 vocals. So I was
I
like,
remember dancing as 5 different people.
yeah.
I remember the. Never mind. I was gonna say I remember the lyrics, but then I don't want to have to prove it. So no, I don't.
Yeah. And while we're on yours, the reason it's called Ptolemy University is because the Library of Alexandria was part of a greater, essentially what was called a museum based off of the muses. That's why it's called a museum.
Whoa,
Okay.
that's crazy.
What?
Yeah. And the original owners of or creators of the entire museum type concept where the library was Ptolemy, and then essentially Ptolemy the Younger, and two Ptolemies.
Yeah,
Cool.
so
Okay.
Demetrius, I'm so sorry. Demetrius was actually proposed the idea to Ptolemy the First, Soter, who may have established the plans, but it was likely not actually created until Ptolemy the Second, Philadelphus, who actually would have created the physical structure.
Yeah. But that's just Like I was proud of that. So
That's
I
sick.
wanted people
That's
to know
really cool. Yeah.
it's probably not going to come up in the actual game, but
I'll make sure that
I mean,
it
it's
does.
good. Just let us. Thank you for letting us know.
Orpheus's mom
That
is
is
a
a cool little
muse.
Easter egg.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, Calliope.
My mom's just a
that
lady.
She goes by Callie.
She works at a bakery.
I told him that I was going to call her Callie because I was like, I'm going to fuck up saying Calliope and I'm going to be very upset about it. So, okie doke.
What did you?
Is it my turn?
Yes, ma'am.
So I was a little more abstract with it. I don't have a person.
Say?
My original thing was intrusive, like kind of a personification of intrusive thoughts, but like with Inception kind of vibes. Because I push my own intrusive thoughts onto other people.
Oh.
And that's my mythos. And my logos is I am a bartender.
Nice.
That's it. That's pretty much it. I just work at a bar.
I forgot your mythos idea. That's so cool.
Which bar do you work at?
It's called Divinity Draft.
Okay.
That's cool,
All
too.
right.
It's a pretty high-end bar. I have a lot of
Rich customers.
yeah.
And you
rich
impulsively
customers,
thought them into
lawyers and
tipping you well.
politicians and whatnot.
Based.
So I hear a lot of stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, sick. Okay, so once you have your character concept, the next phase is choosing the themes, which you guys have already done. But the theme for listeners is a major aspect of your character. It describes a central, important, or dominant part of the character's life that you want her story to revolve around. This is in part determined by what is important to the character, but also by what you would like to bring to the forefront during the game. So it's essentially helping you roleplay. That's what the theme is there for. What was the gasp for?
Sorry, I said
Nani?
I was thinking about my character and I was like, maybe it would make more sense if he doesn't have the bracelet. So I was like, oh, maybe I should switch it out. But I didn't want to voice that and make it inconvenient right now during the recording.
fine.
But now I've done that. So is it okay if I?
Yeah. I mean, we're in character creation, right? So this is the time to, like, if you have a cooler idea or something that you want to try out instead, go for it.
Flip back a couple menus, change the nose around.
Yeah.
You can never get the
Get
sliders
into
right.
the game and realize they're shorter than you thought they were. So now you have to fucking go back.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you have to watch that intro cutscene
Yeah.
again. Like, we get it. I'm on a wagon.
Yes, I'm finally awake. Yes. Okay. I'll change it later. So you can, yeah.
No worries.
I'm worried.
Are we going around and talking about our themes?
Yeah.
All of them?
If you guys don't mind. Yeah. If one of your themes is
No longer
specific to
applies.
your, then just skip it.
Okay.
Okay. Again, we'll do the reverse of the table. Stevie first.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
I'm holding.
Oh.
This song makes me so happy. I could box
Okay,
to this.
so are we going through all of them or just picking like one or two?
Let's just all of them. So all you're gonna do is the major theme, instead of like you don't need to go through like each
Okay.
power tag. Just
Okay, so one of my themes is struggle because
Damn.
my characters struggled with various mental illnesses. The personality is there's another theme called personality, and she's a wallflower.
Oh, there are
She
perks to
watches
that.
people.
Sorry. I said
What?
there are perks to that because there's that book.
Perks of being, damn it. Yeah, and the power tags are the perks of being a wallflower. And those are her two logos themes, and for the mythos themes, she has subversion, just acting in secrecy, and expression is pushing, intrusive thoughts.
I thought you were gonna stop at pushing. I was like, bro.
Pushing.
Take that.
It's a bully.
Yeah, I'm just a schoolyard bully.
So, of course, Professor Alexander Cross has the theme routine as he works at Tolmie University. Teaching is his life, after all. And he also has the theme of training, given that he is a tenured professor and he has been in academics for most of his life. He is quite adept. And he does understand that there is always more to study. Now, when we get into the mythos concepts, there is the enclave, where he can physically go to a almost astral representation of the Library of Alexandria. And most of it is themed after a certain SCP article of the same name, in which the library contains books on knowledge of every individual person's life,
Even mine.
even yours.
Whoa.
Dude,
Have you read yours? It's all right.
That's pretty boring. I'm a boring guy.
And my main question beyond that is, when will the library be satisfied? In addition to this, though, I do have divination as another theme, because I have knowledge, though more like vague inclinations, of what the next page in a person's book will be, as everyone's book is constantly being written until they are, expired. So I may be able to tap into that to gain vague ideas as to where the next event will take place.
cool.
I think Cross is such a cool last name. I just want to say that out loud. Like, that's such a cool name.
So every time I hear mythos, I just think mythos. And it just makes me think of Final Fantasy 16.
16.
Yep.
I still need to play that game. I own
You
it.
need to.
I bought a PS5 just to play that game, and I haven't even started it yet.
That's wild.
Isn't it, bruv? I have 2 Mythos and a Logos, and a fourth one. I'm gonna redo it because it was the Mythos of a Relic. That was the bracelet, but I'm changing that now in real time. So my 2 other Mythos ones are unnaturally resilient. He's unnaturally resilient. He can take a hit, and then fighting real good. I'm realizing now, like, I was not creative when I was picking these. But he's naturally resilient and he fights unnaturally well on my 2 Mythos ones. And they're pretty self-explanatory. And then the Logos one is the mission of clean up the streets. He hates crime and he beats it up. And then the other one will probably be a Mythos because I think he's more into that than his like normal life. Like I said, it was a bracelet before, but I'll find something else and I'll update you I'll scream like when I see something.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So also 2 Logos, 2 Mythos. My Logos are routine, but mine is gig work. So I'm used to that late night kind of flow and the backstage knowledge and that sort of thing. My second Logos is my possession, which is my guitar. And my 2 Mythos, one is charm animals. That's straight from the myth, is Orpheus can charm animals with his guitar, but it expresses itself more as like dogs love me. And like occasionally I can get like a tidbit of knowledge from 1 or 2 of them.
The dogs?
Uh-huh.
That's sick.
That's
Yeah.
pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, understand animal. It's one of the power tags. And then in my last one is the big one is divination, and I can see the dead. And sometimes they talk to me, sometimes they don't, and sometimes I know why they're there, sometimes I don't.
I feel like I would never sleep if I could see the dead.
I was gonna say that.
That
Ryan,
is
but
a
I
big
realized
problem.
You just said don't
Yeah.
twice.
My guy does not sleep much at all.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
Like nightmare fuel.
Cool. I'm excited. I think I've said this to you guys before, but the fact that you guys created the characters that you did on your own without like me nudging you is wild. And I'm so excited to see like how the story unfolds because it's so good. There's just so many good things.
Do the characters just make sense?
In some
in the
aspects,
module?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Just wait. Player characters
kinda
are going to
cool.
ruin everything.
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
I'm expecting it.
You want us to go to the underworld?
I don't want to ruin everything. I just kind of
Nope.
do.
I want to spend all day in the bakery.
True.
What bakery?
The one we're gonna find in the first episode.
The one
and
across from the bar.
hyperfixate on. She sells strawberry shortcakes. It's over, bro.
Oh.
That's fair.
The next step is the theme book step. The theme books are questionnaires that help you put together the details of each of your character's themes, including power tags, weakness tags, a mystery or an identity, and a title. The theme books also offer some ideas on how to describe your character's relationships with the other crew members. Finally, they list the theme improvements, which we talked about. As you essentially level up, you get theme improvements. So you guys have already done that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of things with the theme books for anybody who's wanting to play this for the first time like we are. The one of the big things to think about is agreeing on the interpretation. So as an MC, you need to make sure, which I don't think I've mentioned, by the way.
Yeah.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
I am the mistress of ceremonies. That is what the game calls their GM. So instead of a game master, I am the mistress of ceremonies. If you happen to be a male representing human, you will go by master of ceremonies. I guess I could also go by master, but I just love
Mistress.
It sounds cooler.
Like,
It sounds
just
cooler.
like you're
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah, it reminds me of Maleficent.
Yeah.
The mistress of evil. That's what I want to be
that what
when
they
I
call
grow
it?
up. Yes.
That's so sick.
Yeah, I love Maleficent. So that's why I'm choosing mistress over master. The end. So as the MC, whichever variation you choose to go by, it's definitely like a conversation, right? You want to make sure that you are agreeing on the interpretation of these themes and the tags and everything with your characters, right? Different people have different ways of expressing their ideas. And so your players will describe your character tags to you, and then it does become a dialogue of like, yeah, you know what? That does make sense. Totally go for it. Or, hey, you know, that's a little too vague. Can you specify a little bit more? Because with the power tags, you get 3 power tags. One is allowed to be a little bit more broad. The others have to be more specific, because if every power tag is broad, then you just become OP and then the game is boring, right?
Joseph's already OP.
Yeah.
OP Usher.
Yeah. So just know that it is kind of a give and take with your players. There are power tag questions as well as weakness tag questions that are in the book. So something that might be asked is what particular trait of your defense makes it useful? So with the answer, it's bulletproof, then bulletproof becomes a power tag in that theme. Similarly, there's something like who or what is haunting you because of your defining event. And then with the answer, the big bad wolf becomes the weakness tag in that theme. So it's just kind of, again, helping you role play by giving you questions to answer that help you become more specific. So that's really all you're doing when you go through step 3 with the theme books, is going through each theme book, picking out which ones make sense to the idea you have with your character, and then getting more granular with it when you choose the power tags. With power tags and weakness tags, while we're kind of on it, the reason that these are important is because in this game, we only ever make rolls with 2d6s. The roll, the scale for the rolling is 1 to 6 is a fail, 7 to 9 is a success with a consequence, 10 to 11 is a success, and then 12 and above is what they call like a dynamite roll. Essentially, it's like you sure critted the heck out of that, right? But obviously, you can't get above a 12 with just the dice. That's where the power tags come in. As you make a roll, you choose the power tags that would help you in that role. For example, we'll go back to that like investigative reporter example that we were talking about a couple minutes ago. If you are maybe you are investigating a lead and it's like that you've gotten a tip off that there is a safe in the office next door to you that has clues, right? This character sheet has investigative reporter as a power tag, lockpicking, and then sorrow for the victims, as well as the weakness tag, reluctant witnesses, right? So if you're going into the next room and you need to unlock the safe, you have lockpicking that could go towards additional points towards your roll, right? So you'll get a +1 with lockpicking. And then maybe investigative reporter would help you go through what you actually end up finding in the safe. So that would be another +1.
And these power tags can assist us in our roles, not like just by existing, right? That's not the same as burning them.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. If let's say they've been rolling terribly, and they're really nervous because they know that this type of safe you only get one crack at trying to lockpick it, then maybe they could burn their sorrow for the victims power tag and get an automatic success on lockpicking this safe. And then they won't be able to use sorrow for the victims until they take that, essentially a long rest in D&D Pathfinder terms. But they'll get it back once they take that long rest.
Okay. So you usually burn from a different theme card then?
You can burn whatever you want from wherever you want, as long as it
is
makes
flammable.
sense and that you understand you won't get it until you
Okay. Cool.
Have downtime.
have downtime. Yeah. Any questions on that?
No?
Okay. So that's our power tag portion. And then weakness tags, same thing, but reverse, right? So your weakness tag is, I don't know, you're
You're a perfectionist.
Yeah. You're a perfectionist. And so, I don't know, like you're painting your house. It's a dumb example, but we're going to get through it.
But you've been painting your house for a year.
You've been painting your house for a year. And you want to go help with this investigation, but you just got to finish painting this one wall in order to roll for you to pull yourself away from this task that you're doing before it's perfect. Maybe that would be like a -1 to your roll because of that perfectionist tag. It's a silly example, but hopefully that gets the point across.
That's what we'll do the entire campaign.
Just paint
your
one
house.
house.
Ew,
And we'll start investigating when it's done.
that sounds rough.
Role play going to Home Depot,
Gonna Lowe's.
getting the paint swashes.
Yeah, roll to see how close of a match it is. It's a very close match.
But not quite
Not
what you were
even-
Should
looking
have brought a paint chip in.
Ooh.
A paint chip?
Yeah, you just like tear a hole in the wall and then you bring that piece of wall and you're like,
You don't
Okay.
have to. The way he did with his hands
That makes sense
made
to
it look
me.
like a giant slab of wall.
yeah, at least
don't-
1 foot by
Well,
1
that way
foot.
they're sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was
Because
like
of the variations and
I thought you would-
shadows.
Yeah.
bake pieces of paint and then eat them and call them paint chips.
Oh,
But that's not what you
like
want.
actually, that's what you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Sometimes I forget we're like actually like I know we're recording, but sometimes I forget what that means. I'm sorry, just burp.
Okay. And then the last major part of character creation, before we get to actually play, is the crew theme. And so if you go back to the character sheet specific thing, you have the character card and then you have a blank one that says type, and then crew or extra theme card. Those two portions of the card are going to be the crew theme. And we essentially get to take your concept of Trivia New Roman and write it down.
Cool.
So your type it's essentially the same as what we did with your character, right? So we're going to find a mystery and identity, get you some power tags, some weakness tags, and then you play the crew all together as you play your characters individually. So your crew can level up as you pay attention to it, or if you guys maybe, I don't know, split the party too many times or something like that, maybe you start getting fades or cracks because certain people are getting more close than others or whatever the case may be. That's literally just a random example. Since I haven't personally played this yet, I don't know what other manifestations that fade or crack could have with the crew theme, but that's kind of the idea. So we'll work on that off mic, just because until it comes into play in the game, it doesn't really affect us. But yeah, that's pretty much character creation. And then, like I said, in the next episode, we'll get into like that whole day in the life, talk through what each of you guys are doing personally right before trivia night. It's literature for this week's theme for trivia.
Every answer is Shakespeare.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Cool. Bye, you stink.
Bye.
Later, nerds.
Deuces.
Bye, guys.
I'm so excited to beat up mythical creatures.
Sorry, we're
It's 2023. If you're not eating ass, grow up. I said it. Editor, put that in.
I think we only have that part.
Put that on a loop
Put
for
that
2
at the
hours.
start. Put that at the start, and then don't explain it at all.